Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. If you're on the West Coast, it's the afternoon. I'm Grant Cohn. I'm in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Niners are 6-3. They just beat the New Jersey Giants, a team that's in the NFL, apparently. Not going places. Niners are, though. Niners are back after losing an extremely embarrassing game to the Houston Texans, a team that's not great. Niners are 6-3, but bittersweet victory because at the end, when they were up big, up 17 in the fourth quarter, Mykel Williams appeared to tear his ACL. The Niners are afraid that he tore his ACL. That's the initial diagnosis. Remember, they didn't even think that Nick Bosa tore his ACL when he did. Then he found out that he did. Mykel Williams, their initial test that said that he did tear the ACL. Bad news. We'll find out for sure after the MRI, but it looks like he's going to miss the rest of the year. And before I start doling out blame, I just want to say that my heart goes out to Mykel Williams. He's been a really tough guy, and no one deserves this. And I think in the back of everyone's mind, people were thinking, who's going to go down today on this awful turf? Remember, this is where Nick Bosa tore his ACL 5 years ago. It's where Jimmy Garoppolo had a high ankle sprain about 5 years ago. There's history here. Everyone knows the worst surface in the NFL, and it turned out it was Mykel Williams who went down. So, all right, blame. One, the New York Giants and the New York Jets. This turf is a joke, and everyone knows it's actually a joke. People make fun of it. Everyone knows it's terrible. Ha, ha, ha. Credit to George Kittle after the game saying, why does the NFL allow a stadium to have a surface that everyone knows is terrible and people laugh at? It's not fair to the players. The NBA would never have a hardwood surface that wasn't as good as other ones. The English Premier League would never have grass that isn't good for their soccer players. It's so strange that the NFL doesn't really care enough to make a rule about the quality of turf. There really shouldn't be any artificial turf in the NFL, but according to George Kittle, there's like 12 different types, and the Giants and the Jets have the worst one. I don't know why. I mean, they sell tickets. You'd think with all the money they pay for their players, they'd want to actually pay for the surface as well. So that's one. Shout out to the Niners for having grass. I still don't understand any team that builds a new stadium without grass. Like, shame on the Rams. Shame on the Seahawks, and good for the Cardinals for actually having grass in a dome. Okay, now Kyle Shanahan. Why was Mykel Williams in the game up 17 in the fourth quarter? I guess it was too early to sit all the starters, so maybe that's unfair to say, but the game was pretty much over, and Mykel Williams is your first-round pick, and you're already down like 17 defensive linemen. And I'm not saying the season's over because Mykel Williams went down, because frankly, he wasn't making a huge impact, but you were hoping that he would develop and improve as the year went on so that next year he'd be, maybe a Pro Bowl player. Now it looks like that development could be halted. So unfortunate, and like the injury itself was unfortunate, and maybe you blame the surface, but also I think it's fair to wonder, why was he in the game that late? Maybe up 17, you put in your backups and figured that you're not going to lose. I'm just saying, because I'm going to get to Kyle Shanahan in a little bit, but it felt like he made some oversights in this game, some questionable decisions that could have hurt the Niners, but ultimately didn't, except for this one. This one hurt him, but his calls at the end of the first half, his calls in the red zone, his usage of Christian McCaffrey, questionable, but really the Niners could have, Kyle Shanahan could have called plays while standing on his head, and they would have won, because there is something truly special about this New York Giants team. And when I say special, I mean special in a bad way. So always great to beat a bad team. There's some bad teams in this league, and while the Niners aren't a juggernaut, it's not the best team they've had by any stretch. You can't say what the best team is in the league. And if the Niners aren't a Super Bowl contender, who is? I know I'm a little bipolar on this the last few weeks, but the Niners are pretty mediocre, but so is every team in the league. The Packers lost today to the Panthers. It's hard to say which team is better than mediocre this year. So as long as the Niners are mediocre, they're in the mix. Doesn't mean they'll win the Super Bowl or win a playoff game, but they definitely shouldn't be like big-time white flag sellers. Mykel, I'm so sorry that you got injured. I feel like this one should have been avoidable.